Hello students, today I am here with our new topic Varner's Law, and this topic we are supposed to study in continuity with Grimm's Law. I have already talked about Grimm's Law, and before proceeding to the topic, we are supposed to know the basic key points of Grimm's Law, though you must refer to that video to understand everything completely, and you must stay tuned till the end of this video as well, so that you would be able to grasp the basic concept of Grimm's law and Warner's law, because questions are asked from these topics, and my purpose is to make everything simple to you. My purpose is to make you able to write your answers and get good marks, and that will not be possible unless you have the clear concept of all these things. So the key points of Green's law is that these sounds of Proto-Indo-European languages were supposed to change into Germanic languages. How these plosive sounds, these voiceless plosive sounds, were to become voiceless fricative sounds. Pa, ta, ka would change into fa, the, ha. This would be spelled as such. Then these sounds will take the place of these sounds. Means all the voiced plosives would change into voiceless plosives. And then these aspirated voiced plosives would be changed into these unaspirated voiced plosives. In simple terms, you should remember this. Bha would change into ba, dha would change into da, and gha would change into ga. This was the basic premise on which entire Grimm's law is based. So there were certain exceptions that were not explicable for many years, and finally Warner's found some success in explaining these exceptions. So what actually he did was that he closely studied all those words from Indo-European languages and from Germanic language where Grimm's law did not work, where the sound would not change. Means pa of Indo-European language would remain pa without any change in Germanic language or in Proto-Germanic language as well. So this becomes very simple after the formulation of the theory of Karl Warner, and we can understand it with one or two simple examples. This is quite simple, and so this video is not going to be very long. You must stay tuned till the end of the video. So we have Peter or Pita in Sanskrit, and that should change into father in Germanic. So far, everything appears to be in accordance with the application of Grimm's law. Pa becomes fa, it should be, and ta becomes the, as it should be. So there is no problem. But when it comes to Proto-Germanic language, here we are taking example from Proto-Indo-European, and here we have example from Germanic, and here we have Proto-Germanic. In Proto-Germanic, this father remains father. Here it should have been like this, means the should change into the, but here we have the sound rather. So this was the problem, and here it is clear that Grimm's law does not function, and this confusion becomes even more confounded when we take the example of Bhratra or Brother as we call it in Sanskrit, or even Bhrata. And this becomes brother in Germanic and Proto-Germanic, both the languages as well. So the confusion is that why in this case Grimm's law is functional, means the sound pattern changes in accordance with Grimm's law, but here it does not. So this is the exception. So for this, Werner studied very closely the accent pattern, and he found that the accent pattern of Germanic language is quite different and consistent and regular from these languages, means Proto-Indo-European languages. And he found that in the course of development later in the time, Germanic languages developed a new kind of and a rather consistent accent pattern. And that is the main cause of this type of confusion or this kind of exception. And if we are able to understand this different in accent pattern, we can understand the exceptions to Grimm's law, and those exceptions can be explained. So, what is that difference in accent pattern? Here we know in Germanic languages we have consistently a fixed kind of accent pattern that falls on the root syllable. So, here we have accent pattern like this. But in Proto-Indo-European languages, we have a different kind of accent pattern that is variable, and it was case specific, you can say, word specific, you can say. And pita, here we have accent on the last syllable, and in bhrata we have accent in the first syllable, root syllable. So this accent pattern is similar to the accent pattern, consistent accent pattern of Germanic language, but here it is at variance with this pattern of accent. So finally, Werner was able to explain that if a sound, a consonant sound of Indo-European language is preceded by an unaccented vowel, that would remain unchanged, or that would not change in accordance with the Grimm's law in other languages, means Proto-Germanic or Germanic languages. Means to change the consonant sound in Germanic languages from Indo-European languages, it is an imperative that the vowel coming immediately before the Indo-European sound should be an accented vowel. So here we have accent on this syllable, so this vowel is unaccented. And here we have accent stress on this syllable, so this vowel is accented, stressed. So here we have the application of the function of Grimm's law working, and here it does not. So this is the case, and all the exceptions can be explained in this way. So finally we can say that Grimm's law is completely consistent and regular, and wherever there is an exception, it can be explained with the help of Werner's law, means by taking into account the difference in accent pattern, or it may be attributed to certain combinative factors. In a broader sense, you can say this exception can be attributed to certain combinative factors, primarily on the stressed or unstressed vowels coming before the sounds of Indo-European languages. So this is all about Werner's law. I hope this video will be very useful for you. So if you enjoyed watching this video, please like the video and subscribe the channel. Thank you. We will be here again with our next topic.